Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craft Tree. Today we are going to make some pockets. Now I'm sure that you have lots of scraps. I just pulled a few long strips. Some of them aren't so long. But I pulled some strips out of my drawer. I have two drawers just off to my side there. One has paper, one has cardstock. Now I'm using a light cardstock. Some of them are even ends from books, like this one here is an end page. And so it's not quite paper, but it's not quite cardstock. But I pulled a whole bunch out, and I've been making a few of these pockets. Now I think they turned out really cute. I'm going to call them lace strip pockets. They are stitched and they are just backed on to anything I had in my drawer. This one here was part of a book page and stuff. By the time I layer up a few things, it doesn't take much to have a fairly sturdy pocket. I've got some made. I'll show you them after. And I've got some on the go. I've got about, maybe a dozen here on the go. And this is how I mass make things. I do all the stages. So these ones, I've got the back cut and I've got the 5 strips I'm going to use. So let's start with that. Now I am inking my edges just because I like to do that. Does not matter which side I put the stuff on because you're not going to see the other side anyways. These would also make really cute tags. In that case, yes, you would want to make sure the back was good. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put my first strip on, and I want it to hang over the edge. I want it to hang over because in that way I can glue all the way to the edge. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to just put a line down here because that way I know where to put my glue. Now you could probably glue all over and then lay your strips down really quick. That would make too much sense for me, so I'm doing it the hard way. I have some Elena's tacky glue in here. I normally always use the art glitter glue, but I'm just about out of art glitter glue, and they won't ship it to me yet because we still have some freezing weather, and I need to use up the art or the Elena's glue anyways. I'm going to lay that back down right along the strip. Just going to make sure that I have it fairly even. You could go at an angle. You can make these any size. These are about 4 3/4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 3/4 by 3.5. Now they could be any size. I had a bunch of these things cut to that size, so that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to lay that one down. I'm just going to make a mark. As I say, I like to do things. I like to do easy projects, but I don't mind if they take me a while to make, if that makes sense. I don't necessarily always do it the quickest way, but I do it the easiest way for me. It might not necessarily be the easiest way for you. So I'm just going to do this for all 5 of these. As I say, you could easily put down glue, lots of glue all over. I'm always worried my glue's going to dry out before I get a chance to lay down my project. same as if I'm gluing down a big piece, I will glue part of it and then glue the other part. Lift it up and glue the other part. You can do any size of these. I'm going to go ahead and glue these two down at one time. Any size, any papers, any colors. I did kind of color coordinate mine to a point. Let's get that all down good. And then let's put this one down. And let's put this one down. I'm using a variety of digitals, scrapbook, and scrapbook papers mostly. There's a few, I think there's a couple pieces of like file folder, bookends, etc. So now that is done, let's put the glue, or the lid on that glue. Now I'm going to cut this out. Normally I would do all these ones that I have set up. I'd do them to this stage, then cut them all out, and etc., etc. And then I'm going to just trim the edges. You could use your paper cutter for this. But what's the fun in that when you can use scissors? And the size, the widths of the strips can be any width. Like I will save this piece for on another one. These will go into recycling. Okay, so now we have that. Now, because I like the little thumb notch in the pocket, as a lot of people say, it just kind of shows you, tells you that there is something there. Now I'm going to try getting it in the center. And there we go, like that. Gonna take my ink and quickly go just around the outside. Now when you get going on these, they go by so quick. Takes me longer to explain it to you than it does to actually make one of these. And the whole idea about mask making is do a whole bunch, because then you don't always have to dig your ink out, ink it, put your ink away, move on to the next one. You just do them all and get it all done. Now I've been using a bunch of this lace in here. Now I've got one piece of this rainbow left, so we're going to put that on there. There's some yellow here, kind of a green. That would go good on there. Let's snip off a little piece. Now you can do the same lace, different lace, whatever you want. I have been trying to use thinner lace, just because it just seems a little bit better. Let's put a little piece of this purple on there too. And I need 4 pieces altogether. I got a nice blue. Does that go? That goes okay with some of it. Let's snip that off. I'm trying to use up this, or most of this, by doing some different projects with it. Now, I'm going to switch to my art glitter glue because it works awesome on lace and fabrics. Let's decide. I'm going to put the purple one here, the blue there, the yellow there, and the rainbow one there. Why am I doing it that way? Who knows? Just seems like the right way to go. Okay, now I'm going to take my art glitter glue and I'm going to run right down my seam. Just one bead all the way down. I'm going to put my lace going this way because the other end, it's only a small piece of paper. And then I'm just going to glue the edge of the lace right on top of the glue that I laid down. And I'm just going to, and I attached the lace to like the edge of a page the same way. Just run a bit of glue and then press it down. I'm not like pushing down really hard, and just doing it enough so it's making good contact with the glue. Now I'm going to do my next one. Same thing. Run a bead of glue down like that, and I'm going to attach my lace, make sure it's the right way, and put it down. And again, I'm just catching that edge of the trim, like it always has that little border on it, of most laces do. And then just gently pushing it down because I want it to make sure that I've got it in there. And now, was I going to do the blue or the yellow? I think I was going to do the yellow. And I'm going to rinse and repeat over each seam. Now maybe you've got more seams, maybe you have less. Does not really matter. And you could sew down each of these laces if you wanted to. And when I was making one of the other ones, I was like, why am I inking the edges when I'm just covering it up? So inking is very much just whether you want to or not. Because really, I'm not seeing these at all. Like, once they're covered up. The edge, yes, all the way around the edge, but... And I guess I could save myself some time by not doing it. Okay, and then the last piece of lace goes down. Some of the first few I did, I kind of mass made a little bunch, and then I decided I wanted to make more. And then I thought, well, why aren't I making a video of this? So here I am. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to glue down the edge of the lace. So I'm just going to put some glue along the edge and just pat it down very lightly. And I missed this one. I just don't want it to lift up. Now you could easily decorate these even further, but I kind of thought they were quite nice just the way they are. Might add a pretty flower or something when I go to use it. But they don't really need anything else once I'm done. I'm not pressing down really hard. Just trying to get it down, and you know, love having glue all over my hands. But I thought this was a good way to use up scrap paper and scraps of lace or ribbon or other thing. You could even run a little strip of fabric down them, which actually might be a really good idea. I might try one of those. I thought about putting like a big piece of lace over the whole thing. And really, I was too lazy to get up and find a big piece of lace. And besides, my goal is to try to use up all that. Now, let's trim off the excess. Some of these are big enough to keep, others are not. I do save a lot of small pieces, but we all have our limit on what we keep. If it's more than about 3/4 of an inch, I will keep it and put it in my real scrap pile. Like this one here, I'll add into my little scrap bag. So there is that. And really it's done. However, I like the sewn look. So I did sewing on these two. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I hand stitch pretty much everything. And these are hand stitched. I always have some hand stitching on the go. So when I'm done all these, they'll go into a little stack. And then I'll just sew them when I have time in the evening. I like to sew them when I'm watching YouTube and whatnot. Now I started off folding the lace over. And I do like the way it looks on the edge, but it was a lot more work. So then I stopped doing that. And I'm just doing that. I also was wondering if the lace on the back, when I'm sliding something in, if it's going to catch. And that was one of the other reasons. But these are some that I've got. So that's the one we just did. I got this one here. It's got all the rainbow lace on it. I got this one here. This one here, I put on a black trim. Kind of like it and kind of don't. Black is not one of my favorite colors. I never wear black clothing or anything like that. So it's kind of like, not sure about that one. It's okay, but I prefer more the pastel-y colors. Love this one with the blue and the blue lace. Now this colored lace, the pinks, the blues, the greens, are lace that I dyed. And I need to do a whole bunch more, and I'm going to be doing a big batch of white stuff. Love buying white stuff now and dyeing it. But I love how this one turned out, because the lace is kind of almost white on the edge, but then it's blue, but it just all blends together so nice. This one I used 4 different laces. And then this one here was another one that I did at the back. This was the last one I did with the lace on the back. And then I thought, let's just do and cut it off. But I like how they turned out. Super easy to make. And like I say, a great way to use up lace and paper scraps, ribbon scraps, all kinds of scraps. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I started these last night. I got these 2 done last night with the stitching and everything. These all I made this morning. And I did start making them at 5 inches wide. And I'm thinking, well, my book pages are only like 5.5. And these are kind of for future use. So I started making them 4 3/4 just to be on the safe side of putting them into a journal. Once I get all these stitched and these ones made, I will show it on one of my What's Up videos. I'm trying to do them usually about every 2 weeks, it seems like is when I'm putting them out. But I hope you like these. I hope you will try them. Easy to make. And I'm not sure if the strips can be any width, but it all depends on how many you want to fit across your project. I wanted at least 5, so I made them at 1 to 1.25 inches, and I just cut them all. I cut all these, I pulled them all out of the drawer, and I sliced all these, and all the ones that I've got waiting here. Cut them all at one time. I wanted to make sure the edges were straight, so then they would fit together. But even then, because you're covering up the seam of the paper, if they're not right together, it's not really going to be too much of an issue. But fun. Hope you enjoyed this. Check out all the other videos, all the tutorials. Check out the Facebook group. Check out my shops, Etsy, Coffee, and Creative Fabrica. Still trying to get all my digitals over to Coffee. Fees are not as much on Coffee. So once I get a kit over there, then I lower the price a little bit, so that way I can pass the savings on to you. But here we go. I'm going to finish off these today, putting them together. And then I've got enough sewing to keep me out of trouble for a few days. We'll see you again soon. Bye.